What's up, guys? I'm back today with another episode of our Pocket GM3 beta series on the channel, and we are into season number 5, coming off our first playoff performance, our playoff appearance last year, and we do have a little bit of a new team to show you guys. So let's quickly go over this team. We have a 75 defense, 81 offense, 78 overall. We're 10th overall in the rankings, in the power rankings, as you guys can see. Offensively, we're still a little bit lagging behind here in 11th, and defensively, probably a little bit 13th. So not too bad, but definitely some room to improve. We got Cleveland, Philly, and the Giants really up there at the top 3, but everyone's kind of fairly similar in ratings, so we'll see how things go. But we did bring back Denver Wilcox for another year. We made a lot of moves and a lot of kind of finagling to make things work here. You're going to see some kind of wild scenarios with the offense. Quickly though, I do want to head over to the coaches. We do have a pretty solid coaching room. We have a fairly okay head coach, and our offensive and defensive coordinator are very good. And along with our special teams coordinator is also fairly well as well. You guys can see where everything lies. Expected to make the divisional round, and we have $2.3 million left in the budget. And let's go over the team quickly. So you guys can see we do have our running back, which we might have to bring out a big contract for him, as he has come off 2 or 3 pretty good years. And again, off of one of his best years, 6 touchdowns last year, and continually getting over 700 yards receiving. We're going to need to offer him a big deal, and he's going to want around $10 million for 3 years. Hard to pay that much for a running back, but this guy has done very well on the team, so we might have to give him the money. So going over the rest of the team here, you guys can see our wide receiver room is a little bit lackluster. We tried getting Ely, who we had last year, but he did not want to come back to the team. I only wanted to give him a 1-year contract, but he ended up wanting a 2-year contract, went to a different team, so we were kind of stuck with Dozier over here, which is okay. It is going to be what it is. We didn't draft any rookies in the draft. Offensive line's okay. Still okay. We did pick up a center just because he was in free agency and he was pretty cheap at $8.5 million. I know it's kind of dumb to get another center, especially a veteran center who's just going to downgrade. But I thought I'd bring him in for 1 year, and then obviously we're still going to have Taco Sutton. I have just realizing his name. We're still going to have him as our main center after this year for the last 2 years of his deal, so it's okay. We picked up some veteran players on defensive line. A lot of the bigger players weren't even in free agency, and some of the defensive ends that did want to come to the team were extremely expensive and weren't even interested in the team, so we have a lot of veteran players who are on 1-year contracts. Blake Reed, we might consider getting rid of just because we have our rookie here, but we'll probably keep him on the bench just for now. $3.5 million, so it's not too bad, and we still have $23 million in cap space, so we're definitely looking pretty good. As we scroll down, offense, outside linebackers, our linebacker room was really struggling, and I really couldn't get anybody to come into the team. We paid a lot for Redmond, and he's not really that good, and his injury rating is still 50. So some of these guys who are at the bottom might still end up playing. We did get Jordan Moore. He was our first-round pick, so he's got a big, or not a big contract, but a fairly good-sized contract. And he's not great. Not happy with his injury rating either, so I'm a little worried there. We did spend a high draft pick on him too, so a little bit worried there. Cornerback room is where things get a little messy. As you guys can see, I signed these 2 veteran safeties because there was nobody left in free agency, and I ended up bringing them in pretty short deals, 1-year deal, $7 million and $4 million apiece. They are going to downgrade and obviously regress, but we ended up getting 2 safeties in the draft who ended up being pretty good, and this guy is normal development, the other guy is slow. But we picked up this guy in the 4th round. His contract is $700,000. This guy in the 3rd round, and his contract is $900,000. So we might as well go with them and toss over the safeties to the cornerback room. And I tried trading them to try to fill in another position, but obviously they're old players, 35 and 33. So really nobody was interested in them. And the only thing I could have gotten back was probably about like a 3rd or 4th round pick for both of them together. So I felt like it wasn't worthwhile and to move them just over to cornerback. And last but not least, we picked up a new kicker. This is the year that I'm really waiting for a quarterback to hop into the draft. I think this will be the year. There's a couple of good draft prospects. We'll actually show you guys those really quickly. A couple of them that I'm actually fairly interested in. We have this guy who's a sophomore right now, but these 2 guys, which is Cody Edibali, I'm pretty sure how you say it, and then Therese DeGuara, maybe? Those two guys are definitely two players on my list that I'm very much interested in, who are probably might move up in the draft to pick up those guys. And yeah, so anyways, let's hop through here. Let's get started with the season. 10th in power ranking. You guys can see where we lie. And I've already made this intro super, super long. So let's get started. Let's get through this game or through this season. And we start off with a loss to Indy. Not exactly the way I wanted to see things happen. I'm really hoping Denver Wilcox can keep his performance up throughout this year. And hopefully we can get to a good point this year. We should be able to make the playoffs, but starting off 0-2 is not the way we wanted things to go. As we're off to an 0-2 start. Not exactly where we wanted to be, but we're going to move on to Dallas. We're dropping in the power rankings. Our overall, how did our defense drop in crazy overall? What happened? Did I miss something? Or a lot of these guys are regressing that I just did not notice before? Yeah, so some of these veterans are already regressing. Our kicker's regressing. Some of these players are regressing. We're down. This defensive end is going up a little bit. He does have super development. Our defensive tackles are going down. So, yeah, not exactly great here. You guys can see a lot of our players are going down. I think Denver Wilcox will go down as well this year. So we'll have to see what happens. Maybe we'll take a step back and not make the playoffs, but we'll have to see what ends up going on. We do get our first win against Dallas, but they do outgain us in yards. So let's move on from that one. Not exactly a pretty win, but we do get on the board. Moving on to Houston. This will be a tough matchup as they crush us. They are 4-0 on the year, and we're off to a 1-3 start. Not what we wanted to see happen, but we definitely need to build up this roster. I feel like we've been really just I'm going to roll through some of these games while I end up talking for some of this. It looks like our running back is injured. That's okay. We do have a veteran backup. But it looks like a lot of our guys are regressing. As you guys can tell, our overall just continues to go down. And we definitely need to fill up this team with some youth because we do not have that. 3-4, we do beat Tennessee. 3 touchdowns for Wilcox. Not too bad. I'm going to stop this at probably one more week. Once we get through one more game, our middle linebacker is injured. Is that the rookie? Of course, it's the rookie with 91 injury rating. And just what I expected. We'll see how long he ends up on the team if he wants to continue to have a bad injury rating. But we moved to 4-4. And another 3 touchdown day for Wilcox. I'm going to check out the stats really, really quickly. We do have another injury to our center, of course. The guy who I went out and spent a little bit of money on is going to come out and get injured for 7 weeks. That's okay. I guess that's why we kept Taco on the team. But you guys can see some of these players are regressing hard. -3, -2, -5. At some point, we're going to end up bringing in some of the other players. This guy's +3, our defensive end. How long did our linebacker get injured for? He is back in 1 more week. And these safeties are getting injured. We really need an influx of youth on this team. How is the kicker doing? He is 5 for 8. I can't complain about that. 14-1 for Wilcox. I can't complain. But honestly, the team is really not producing as I expected it to. So let's move on. We're going to be moving on to Vegas. And we do lose by 4 points. A tough loss, an interception for Wilcox, but another 2 touchdown day. Second interception of the year for him. As we are going to continue to regress, we do get the win on Tennessee. Really rough day just offensively across the board. Like I said, we have a lot of improvements that we need to make here in the offseason. We need to pick up some actual good players. We need to go out and pick up some all-star players. And they just really haven't wanted to side with the team, and that is not a great start. We're moving to 5-7 on the year. We're down to a 75 overall. Our defense is absolutely horrible, and we're struggling. This team is struggling. Everybody is dropping in ratings. Let's scroll through here really quickly and see if there's anybody that we do want to kind of like bump up to a starting position. I'm going to bring up this guy. I didn't think he would drop 7 overall in 1 season. That's absolutely insane. So 23-year-old Aaron Campbell is going to get the start for today. And wow, up +4 for Byron right there. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. A little bit of development for the linebackers. Our cornerback's developing pretty good, +3, but -5 and -3 on those 2 safeties. Not great, not exactly what we wanted to see, but it is what it is. We're going to move on to Dallas, see if we can get the W here. We don't, moving us to 5-8. That pretty much probably is going to knock us out of the playoffs as we're a little ways back. We do have another injury to our defensive end. Let's check that really quickly. And that is okay. So we're going to move on to the Jets. They are 9-4, and we do get the W to stay in the playoff hunt. And we're probably out of the playoffs, honestly. I mean, we're one game back. We're probably like 1.5 because they probably had the tiebreaker on us. And we are going to move on to Houston. We do get a big W, 30-17. I'd like to make it to the playoffs just to keep the owners happy and make sure that we don't get fired. Houston does have the lead. Our only shot really here is at a wild card position, because both of the wild card positions are taken up by 9 and 6 teams, and we are 7-8 on the year, so we need some magic and a miracle to get to these playoffs. We do get a victory against Cincy, kind of expected, obviously, moving us to 8-8 on the year, and we're going to close out this year on against Indy. So we are in first place in the division, and let's see what we can do here. We're going to sim this one. We do lose, bringing us to 8-9 on the year. Do we make the playoffs? Do we make the playoffs? We do. It looks like we are going to win the division as I miss it really quickly. You guys can see we win the division at 8-9. Our defense was honestly one of the worst in the entire league. Top 7 worst, top 10 worst in the league. Absolutely terrible. I don't even know what to say to that, but this team regressed really, really hard. We are probably going to end it today. At least here is where we're going to end it. We're 76 overall, 80 offense, 73 defense. We have a lot of moves here to make that we need to do. We'll do the playoffs in the next episode. We're 8-9 on the year. The defense is absolutely horrible, and we are going to be playing Denver. So I'm expecting Denver to be a good team. They are 11-6 on the year, a very good offense and a much better defense than us. So we'll see what we can do. 8-9, a little bit of a regressing year, but we are back to the playoffs. If we can win this first round matchup, that'd be great, but if not, it is what it is. Let's check out quickly some of these players regressing, and we'll go from there. So check out our center, see how good of a year he had. Only allowed 5 TFL, so not too bad. Can't complain there, but our defensive tackles have absolutely regressed. This guy is down 8. Absolutely crazy on a $5 million deal. None of these players are coming back. Absolutely crazy. We're going to actually, I think I'm going to bump up Murphy to the starting position and Byron to the second defensive end. And then outside linebacker still okay. Middle linebacker, at least a little bit of room for development with those two young players. And the cornerbacks are absolutely regressing like crazy. Trey Williams, you guys can see, 37.5 points, no interceptions. And Collins, 72. He had 6 interceptions. Absolutely insane for Collins. What an insane, our fourth corner, and he's regressing like crazy, and he ends up coming up with 6 interceptions for the team. What does the other safety end up getting? No interceptions. Kind of expected. It's kind of hit or miss with the safeties. Or the cornerbacks, really. 28-6 for Wilcox. Can't complain. Another okay year. 1,100 yards for Rochelle. I don't know how we're going to not be able to give him his contract. Haran, I'm glad I brought this guy back. He was with the team for 3 years. Then we let him go. Had a pretty solid year in the... can't even talk. Had a solid year for the Jets, and he comes back and has a pretty good year for us as well. Over 1,000 all-purpose yards. And receiving, Demarius Booker and Dozier is going to be our leading 2 receivers. And Rochelle with another 500 yards, almost, over 1,600 yards of offensive yards coming from him. Can't complain. Phenomenal. Defensively, we get no pass rush. Absolutely terrible. Our leading sack, 3 sacks for 2 players. Absolutely terrible. 6 interceptions. Jordan Moore as well. Is this our rookie? He missed 2 games and still had a solid year with 3 interceptions. Can't complain. But those were our only... Oh, we have QT with an interception. So 10 interceptions on the year. Kicker, missed 5 kicks, 1 extra point. Not too bad. And that's pretty much where this is going to end off. We can check out some of the other player stats really quickly. 44 touchdowns, 5,500 yards, 44-10, rushing 1,100. Phenomenal for him. Looks like he is probably going to get it with 44 and 5 interceptions. On the ground, 1,600 is going to lead it. Our guy is in top 10 Pretty solid. 1,000. Imagine that. 1,500 and 1,000. Absolutely insane. And he's 30 years old, coming off 2 phenomenal years. 2,200 last year. Absolutely nutty numbers right there. 2,300 yards for Falk in Miami. Phenomenal year. Jeez, this 2,300, that's got to be a record, at least for the NFL. So phenomenal year for him. 17 touchdowns, going to lead the way. Our tight ends are absolutely horrible. Sacks, 20 sacks for Crawley. Actually, quickly, I want to see how Ely did. He's right here. 1,000 yards. He did end up going here on a 2-year deal. So not too bad of a deal, or not too bad of a year for him. Interceptions, we're going to get Collins with the top guy as well. And Collins is going to be up there as well with a phenomenal year for him. Kicking, our guy is middle of the pack, kind of expected. And punts were kind of towards the top. So that is where we're going to end off this one. We do go 8-9 in year number 5. A little bit of a downgrade, but I really didn't think all of these players would drop and regress that much, especially the defensive tackles, -8, 3, and 4. Absolutely crazy. I was not expecting that. And I did not expect these safeties to drop as much as they did. Granted, Collins did have a phenomenal year, but absolutely crazy how much some of these veteran players did drop, and it was kind of just what we were forced to do with the money and kind of where the team was at this point to kind of just try to, put a band-aid on the problems and see if we could get this team back to the playoffs. But without further ado, I am going to end this video off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are new, it really helps out the channel, whether you just watch a video, like a video, comment on a video, whatever you guys do to interact with any of the content on the channel really does help, and I appreciate it so much. But without further ado, I'm going to end this one off, and I will see you guys tomorrow with the playoffs episode, and hopefully we can make a little bit of a run, but we'll have to see what kind of miracle we can get with this team, and we'll see what happens in tomorrow's episode. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video.